Hello guys and welcome to GA Flying. Today we are in New Zealand and we will be checking out the newest version of the Kodiak from SWS. So this is the native 2024 version. From what I know, it was done like in the new 2024 modular technology, and pretty much everything apart from the sounds is at least overworked by SWS. Okay, so the release of this one was around, I think, 1 hour ago or 2 hours ago, so it's brand new. The price is $35, including tax, at least for me. And for those $35, you're getting both the version on wheels that you can see here, and also the amphibian version, so the one that has both floats and wheels. Okay. Next week, it should also appear on the marketplace. From what I know, they had some problems with releasing it, so marketplace users sadly have to wait another week. Okay, for people that have owned this plane in the 2020 version, they are getting a 50% discount. Okay, so let's start with a view of the plane, like a nice outside view. I think this might be actually one of the better looking planes for 2024. I know people will hate me, but I think it looks better than the Caravan from the outside. But obviously, it's a matter of taste, right? You are also getting lots and lots of liveries for it, although not that many, like very interesting ones from companies and stuff, mostly just different variations of colors, right? Today in New Zealand, it's very stormy, and this is also why I wanted like a more positive color, because maybe there will be only clouds and nothing more that we will see today. So at least the color will be nice and positive. And when it comes to the Kodiak and flying in New Zealand, I actually have a long history with it, because despite me not owning this Kodiak from SWS and MSFS, I was owning one in X-Plane for many years. And New Zealand was pretty much the perfect place. Because there is a lot of short strips, so you need this like short takeoff and landing possibilities, and because most of the time the visibility is very low and there is a lot of dangerous terrain everywhere, so those additional capabilities of the Garmin 1000 come in really handy. Okay, and as you can see by the weather now, I think we will also use them today. Okay, but before we go into the plane, let me show you like a file with the changes, so we can be sure that I won't miss anything. So there will be two versions. So the one that you can buy today is the wheels plus amphibian, as I said, $35. And in the next week, they are supposed to also release the sole amphibian one. I'm not sure why. Maybe for people that only had the wheeled version in the 2020 version, because I don't think there are many people who don't want the normal wheel version, but only want the amphibian one. I'm not sure, but this will be an option, right? Okay, so different tires, okay, and I could select it when starting the flight, so this is true. Some cargo pod variants, okay, so cargo pod and no cargo pod, okay. And the interesting thing is also that you can open it and you can see the baggage inside, which once again, it's a little bit better than the Caravan, where, as far as I know and as far as I have checked out, it's always empty, right? If you put baggage in it, it will still appear empty. So as always, stuff that I think is important or interesting, I have like marked yellow. So there is the possibility of damaging the engine, over torquing, over tamping, which is great because in the explained version that I had, it was also possible. And I have ruined so many engines when flying in New Zealand because of go-arounds and other stuff. And I was a pretty beginner pilot back then, so let's hope this won't happen again today. We have the newest Garmin, and something that I will want to check out is if the flight plan importing functionality will work, because from what I remember in the 2020 version, you couldn't import the flight plan from this 2024 tablet, right? So this send to avionics feature. Okay, so you do get the tablet obviously from 2024. There are many cabin variants, and I have seen them when like starting the flight. So cargo, combined cargo and passenger, Timberline is this a normal passenger commuter version, Summit is for VIPs, and Skydive is also nicely modeled, but only for the wheels version. Okay, so they have changed the auto start logic, so despite the engine damage model, you will be able to safely auto start. As you can see, lots of liveries. Okay, so this is what I said, that the cargo is visible, right? And the passengers obviously will be also visible. Okay, and they have also overhauled a big part of like the textures and stuff. So this looks just amazing. I'm not sure if this is not my favorite looking 2024 GA plane. Okay. Yeah, truth to be told, we have great sunshine here and stuff, but still, it looks really good. I hope it's visible on YouTube. Okay. And with this, I think we can get inside, but first we will obviously do the walk around. So let me just step outside and let's see what we can click. Okay. Did I open something? I'm not sure, I clicked somewhere. Okay, so here you can see. Yeah, probably this one. Okay. Can I play around with this? Yes, I can. And you can also get dirt on the plane, but sadly it uses the standard career mode logic. So it will be cleaned after the flight, right? So you can make it dirty, but then once you restart the whole flight, it will be clean again. I think only in career mode, it stays between flights, but I'm not sure about that. I have seen it like on, seen one of the beta testers talking about it when presenting the plane. Okay, this seems fine, this seems fine. It was somewhere written that you can check the oil, so let's just see. Very nice. But I'm not sure about the oil. Let me just close this side. Not sure where I would do this. The batteries, okay, the liquids here. Interesting. Okay, maybe let's load some cargo. There is also like a two-step process to opening the door, which is something that I always like. I'm not sure if I haven't opened the other one still. It's even a three-step process. Very nice, very nice. And we can also open this one. So this one I have seen on the videos, also nice. Okay, so let me now add some cargo. Do I want to use the standard one? Yeah, let's use it. Just to make sure that we won't mess up anything in the logic of the plane, okay? So, give me a passenger here, passenger here, maybe passenger here. No one sitting together, right? Only autistic passengers on this flight. Okay, and now let me get some cargo. Okay, so here we can see the cabin and the pod. Right. Let me also load the pod. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, so this is really nice. This is something that I wish a Black Squirrel plane would also introduce, because I mean, you can probably agree that this just looks amazing, right? Okay, and we can feel like a real pilot. Okay, I think we can now close this door. Is it? I think it's down first. Oops. Yep. And now up. Okay, and now we close it here. Oh, very nice. I really like this process here. Okay, let's make sure we have not missed anything. No rudder block like in the Caravan. Okay, and with this, I think we can go inside. Yeah, so for now, I really like it. Lots and lots of effort. Can I close it like this? Nice. Now I will also close it here. So let me just see if I Nice to have passengers. Okay, so let me now see if I also need to close it here. Yes, okay, that's actually cool. Really like it. And we can see our baggage. Okay, so this part is great. I really like it. So for now, it looks like a lot for $35, right? Especially since, as I said, you're getting both variations of the plane and lots of interior options. Okay. So when it comes to the checklist that I will be using, I was watching Missionary Bush Pilots, so like the most popular YouTuber when it comes to real pilots that are flying the plane. If you don't know him, I will link his channel in the description of the video. Despite the name, it's not like a religious channel, so you don't have to fear. It's about flying the plane in New Guinea, right? Okay. I'm not sure if I want this tablet here. It's not that useful to have it here, really. And maybe I can just do the map. I don't know. Okay, let's hide it for now. Okay, so master, so the battery, nice. Beacon. Let's just turn this on because we have the engine instruments here, right? So we need it for the start. Let's open the fuel. And also this valve for fuel, right? So one interesting fact is that it's being started with the propeller feathered, which I think is not so common for like turboprops. But this is something that I found both in the checklists that are online and that like the real pilot is doing. Okay, so there are two ways to start it. Either we can put the starter to high and then the ignition will be automatic, or we will start it in low and then we have to add the ignition. So according to the checklist, as I have found, high is better for the engine, but it's only used when you have ground power, and low is used normally. And this Bush Pilot that I'm talking about, the real one, is using low, right? So we will also be using low. One interesting fact is that in some checklists, I have seen it starting with standby, and others are starting it with on. So as always, it's not so easy with planes, right? Okay, so let's put it to on. Let me make sure it's not too loud for you guys. It should be fine. And we will do ignition because we want to go to low, and we will go to low. Okay. We are looking for 13 or 14% on NG. Yeah, sorry, 13 or 15. I was thinking about other stuff for a second. Now let me just put it to low idle. Okay. And we are obviously monitoring the ITT because we can mess up this engine, right? Okay, so a second peak, I guess. It's nice. Okay, and around 50% we can turn off the starter. Okay, and we also don't need the ignition. This can go to standby. Okay, and now we can move the propeller forward. There's also like a two-step setting here, but according to the checklist, you're just moving it to max. Okay, and it seems like it's stable. This like peak, sudden peak in ITT was interesting. I haven't seen it before. But everything is in the green. So, oh, because we are... Okay, sorry for this, guys. So this was something that I didn't anticipate, okay? That it start... No, wait. The parking brake was on. What? 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 Sorry guys, this wasn't very professional. We concentrate too much on the readings here, but it seems like we are alive, right? We just moved like 2 meters in front. Okay, so we will want GPS. So here we have to click 2 times CDI. And let's just proceed. Let's just pretend this didn't happen. Okay. So nav lights, taxi lights. and the bypass is pretty much the inertial separator, right? We have a lot of sand here, a very small airport, so we want to be sure. So let's just turn it on, okay? So now I got distracted by everything that was happening. We do have air conditioning, okay, and let's just put it to auto. And during the cruise, this is actually relevant because depending on if you have air conditioning or not, there is a different torque setting recommended as the maximum torque setting. Okay. Let me do the settings here because I don't have it set up yet. Okay. So the wind I like to be, now I don't remember, I think it's option 2, then later we can change it. Altimeter units, actually I've got them in hectopascal in this case, so let me just, yep. Okay, here we can see the inlet is on. Okay, so is there anything else that I want? Yes, I would like to have NAV1, although today we will be only flying with GPS navigation. Okay, everything is here. Nice, nice, nice. So this is the transponder, so let's put it to on. Okay, let's see what advisory tells us. Okay, nice. Oh, now I got distracted. What has happened? Okay, let's take a look at the flight plan. So I can also show you on the map what our flight plan will be. So we are starting here. This is like a custom airport, but it's free for everybody. It's not this airport. It's called not Lake Tehui, whatever. You will see it on the map in MSFS, and then later I will provide it in the description of the video, okay? But this is like a very nice custom airport that everybody get for free, and we'll be flying to Queenstown, which is one of the most exciting airports like ever, and it's also custom and for free for everyone. In MSFS, right? There will be a very interesting approach, like through a mountain valley, and we'll probably have zero visibility, so it will be very, very hard to do without GPS. So this is also why, while I'm normally not a very big fan of G1000, those avionics are the perfect ones for flying here, right? Because you can see the whole terrain around you. And now I also want to check some stuff here. Let me just see, are charts working? Let me see. I don't think so, because in the release notes I have seen that charts are something that they want to introduce, but no, but I did see them, so maybe they want to improve them. Okay, so let me go back just to see if it works. Okay, so it works. If you have Navigraph, you have charts. So I'm wondering what they mean by the notes that I have seen. It seems to work. Okay. Either way, this is not what I wanted. I wanted to see terrain, okay, because this will be very important for us today. So let me just try to remember where it is. Yup, here. Okay, so we will want this one. Okay. And next rat, yeah, it's not very optimistic, so I will just hide it. But this is real weather, just the hours are changed somehow. Let me see. So they said that they are also introducing more custom pages. Okay, and we can see custom pages. So this checks out. I think this rudder setting might be actually the correct rudder setting, because according to the checklist, it's 25% right of the center. So it seems like it's pre-set up for us, right? Just the elevator trim can go slightly into the takeoff position here. Some nice sounds, okay? And something that I want to do is checking if the import functionality from here is working. So let me just build a route. And I do want to add my approach, okay? Let me just see if I remember how to do it. Approach procedure. Okay, change. And we want RNAV 32. And this might be my mistake because I'm not using this. Oh, here. Okay. So everything checks out. And let me just see. Is it what we want? Oh, too many colors. Okay, so we want to go from here, here. Let me just compare it with my approach procedure that I have here, because this is the most epic and best approach procedure ever. And as you can see, no way you would do it without GPS gain. It's okay, but this is exactly what I want to fly. So it's 2-3 Zulu. Okay, so let me just see if it will be here. Okay, so Arnav. Oh, because it's 2-3. Okay, my fault. But is it? Yeah, this one, I would assume. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so this is here, and it's supposed to start with at kill. So we want the transition at kill here. It's drawing it in a very strange way that doesn't make me optimistic that it will really fly it like this. Why do I need the rest of the circle? I'm not sure. But still, let's see how it looks. In the end, I can just normally edit if we would need it. Yes, it's still the VFR pattern here. So let me set it up again. Okay, at kill, and now change procedure. Yes, I want it to be IFR, right? And we have it here. Okay, so the missed approach is this circle, probably. Okay, and now what I want to check is send to ATC. No, send to avionics, sorry. Okay, no. Okay, it has not added this one. Maybe it would just add like the waypoints and route. I don't know. So either way, we have to have this approach here. It will be probably much faster and better if we do it here, but still, I was counting on the importing feature to work. So 2-3 Zulu, and we want at kill. Okay, so the minimums, well, let me show you. Here. Okay, so barrow it will be 2718. Okay. Okay, I see where this is going. I should have selected radar altitude, definitely. Can I type it in? Let me just see. No. This would be too nice. Stay with me, you won't regret it. And this is also something that I recommend you to try yourself. It's really probably one of the most exciting approaches. Especially if you're doing it in the clouds, and as I said, when I'm flying in New Zealand, it's always clouds. Like this. Okay. No, please don't tell me. Oh, I didn't activate it. Okay. But it has saved all of the stuff. Luckily. Yeah, too much talking. Not enough clicking. Okay, and just load it. Okay, and now it's fine. And we do have VNAV. Normally when I'm flying it, it's like with planes that don't have VNAV really. So here we will get it, I hope, and we will see how it will work. Okay, so for now, it looks great. So let me just close the flight plan. And let's hope we will... This circle is strange, but okay, we will see. So let's prepare. It seems like we have everything. Yep, so let's just taxi. So we want to go here, and we will start from here. Yeah, the weather is really not that good. We had beautiful sunshine like in the very beginning, but now it's not so nice. Are we stuck? Well, it's like an all-terrain plane. It should handle this one. Yeah, but really nice. As you can see, free airport. Normally when there is sun out, right, it looks even better, like you have seen in the beginning. This is beta, reverse, right? Okay, so let's set it up on this tiny airstrip here. Okay, we need more power. You can see like the angle of attack indicator. Okay, and I think we can turn here and it should be enough. Yeah, what is interesting and I think pretty unique is the standby instrument that also has synthetic vision. So this is something that you don't see every day. Okay, so from what I could see, most takeoffs are being done with 20 degrees flaps. Maybe because most are done from pretty short strips. I don't know. So fuel. In this case, I would maybe take the ignition because we have a lot of rain. Okay, don't want to lose the engine by like flying into a very wet cloud. Strobe, landing. Okay, and condition lever to full. Okay, let's monitor the engines because once again we have engine failures. Sadly, there is nothing in the EFB, right, or in the menu that shows you the status of the engine. If you mess it up, you just have to restart the flight, and then on the next flight it will be working. I haven't done it myself, but this is what this beta tester was saying, because he got like a pre-release copy, so I have watched his videos pretty much. Okay, let me just make sure we have everything. Let's check on the passengers. Okay, they seem eager to fly, and here we should be able to lock, yeah, our seat belts, or like our harness, pretty much, that we have as a pilot. Okay, so it's nice that this is working. Obviously, it's only like for role playing. Okay. Let's watch out for the torque bloom. This is actually, this was actually the first plane with proper turboprop simulation, from what I remember. Okay, when it comes to the rotation speed, it's 52 to 63, depending on the loadout, right? On how heavy the plane is. I guess I would change my standard vision here. And we are flying into the storm.
500.
Thank you. Okay. Let's get rid of the flaps so the pitch changes a lot, but we also have a wind here. Okay, and I think I have selected the correct arrow, so this is the one that I like. Okay, and let's just zoom in here. I will need to trim the plane. Whoa, this is a pretty strong trim. Okay, pretty strong trim effect here. And we need to watch out for the mountains. And as you can see, without this, obviously if you would be flying full IFR, right? But still, it's great to have this information here. I have to say it's probably a little bit too twitchy in pitch when it comes to my liking, and the reaction of the trim is also pretty strong. So this is something that I would have to get used to in this case. Let's saying it might also be the wind in this situation. Okay, so let me just, we obviously want the yaw damper. Yeah, yaw damper. There is also this level flight button. If you feel uneasy, if you feel you are losing control of the plane, you can just click like on the level button and it will do it for you. Although I think you might also need autopilot to work. Let me just see. This disconnects the autopilot. Okay. Let me go to nav. So we will go here. And pitch mode is actually fine. We are climbing a little bit. Okay. So in this case, we have 9 degrees, so we don't need anti-ice. And we are slowly climbing. Actually, yeah, it will be trying to catch this one. Actually, I would like it to level off at 10,000. So let me just try to set it up. We will probably stop climbing because, yeah, and you can see this new effect, right? With the new Garmin 1000 version, that you will see this like corridor here. Yeah, so it's trying to get back on track. We can also use some vertical speed. Okay. But I think this slow climb is also fine because we want to see if we cannot see some nice views outside. Okay. There are some nice views hidden here for sure. Let's just see the other way. Also pretty nice. So at the end of the video, I will try out the night lighting, right? So we will see how it looks like. For now, like a big plus for those baggages here and the passengers. Actually, if you don't know, it's a pretty like high-profile topic lately with the release of the Caravan. So when it comes to the black square planes, they normally don't have passengers visible, but there is actually a mod maker on Flight Sim.to that is adding the possibility to have visible passengers to all black square planes. So, and he has also done it for the Caravan. So if you have the Caravan but are missing passengers, you can download the mod. From what I know, the only limitation is that it won't pack the Caravan full of people. I think there is a limitation of 5 people or something, but still, it will be looking much better. I think the only one where it's missing is the Starship, which is pretty sad because it's my favorite black square planes. But I'm waiting, maybe it will also come. Okay. So do I like it? I don't know, it's probably too low, I guess. And I have it here. So I'm not sure yet, right? I would need to fly with it a little bit more to know if I like it or not. That's saying now we can close the inertial separator, so the engine bypass, how it's called here, right? And let's just put it here. And we need to look for a torque spike, because the torque will spike, right? Will raise. Yeah, this is really useful. Okay. And we have wonderful weather. We can go outside, take a look. Let me just set up my cinematic view camera. Yeah, I think yellow was a good idea. Yeah, this looks really nice. Yeah, up until now I pretty much love everything apart from the behavior in pitch. I think, like, at least for my controls, it's a little bit too sensitive. I like it being like more fluent in the movement, right? Here those movements seem to be pretty sharp, but this is something that you can like correct, right, with additional settings in the control settings. And I also need to get used to this one. It's also like a smaller plane and like one that is more agile than the Caravan, right? So it makes sense that the feeling is a little bit different. Okay, let me see. So let's get rid of the landing lights. Or we can change it to pulse, right? Because we do have a lot of birds here, so I guess this makes sense in this case. Okay, and we can also talk a little bit about, first I need to check what the transition altitude here is in New Zealand. So let me just, give me a second, I'm trying to find the... So much information on those charts. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll probably do like a jump ahead at one point, so then I will check it. Okay, for now let's stay with the QNH that we have now. Now we can immediately see we are kind of safe. Let me just see. Yeah, we are. Very nice. Normally we could hold our climb, but the approach starts at 10,000 feet. And I also want to check out how accurate we will be capturing this corridor here that we see. But it seems pretty promising. Let's just center the heading back. Let's see here, also pretty promising. And I can show you the... Okay, so it's telling us to put pitot on and it's getting colder, so it makes sense. Okay, nice automation, thank you. And I want to show you what I'm using. So I do have this checklist from JayDee. It's also a YouTuber, a German one, that is doing like some, other than doing some great videos, he's also doing great checklists, right? You can get it from Flight SimTO. But there is actually also like an online manual provided by SWS, right? And here you can see it seems to be already updated because this is the view for the new version. And they said that they will update it today pretty much. So what we're looking at now is probably brand new. Okay, and we have a lot of stuff here. Is there anything that I want to see now? Okay, takeoff climb performance, very nice. Okay, so this is us. Pressure altitude is probably close to 10, right? So climb speed should be around 100, and we are much faster, right? So we could be climbing much faster, but I was hoping for some views here still that we will see part of like a nice mountain or something. That's saying we will see a lot of those on the approach, right? So we won't miss that much. I would like to make it brighter. As far as I remember, it's under menu, and it's already at 100%. That's set. And if I change it, manual. Okay, and this also to manual. Maybe my fake 100% will be better than the automatic one. No. I'm not sure, it's not so bright. Did I make it less bright? Because I would like to see some contrast here, right? Okay. Okay, so what else do we have here? We can play around with this one, so getting some window heating might make sense in this one. We can lower the target speed. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. So it's good that we took a look at this one, right? Because I didn't really turn it on. So now it's being warmed up. But this is also fine. This way we can observe like the simulation of the temperature rising here. So it seems to be pretty natural, I would say, when we look at the speed at which it happens, right? And I think, because we are on auto, okay, and now this works. So this is also nice. I always love to play around with the temperature inside. So I'm happy that this is active and seems to be working correctly. So one thing that I have seen in black square planes lately, I was flying a lot of in the north, and it seems that as soon as you are turning off the heating, it very quickly dissipates, like the heat, and it gets very, very cold very, very fast. So I think, and I have observed it in like multiple black square planes, so I think there might be like a fault in the code that he's using. So maybe I would be reporting it just for the immersion. Okay. We can take a look at the cruise performance. Let's just reach our cruise altitude here. I don't think we need the pump. And I don't think, let me look at the clouds, that we need the ignition. Okay. And is it suggesting us that we would like to use the inlet because we are in icing range? But I think it's not needed. Okay, let's take a look outside. Yeah, yellow was a good choice, guys. This looks amazing. Yeah, so just to spam you with some other news not related to this plane, I know, again. Lately I'm flying a lot of the MD-11 from TFDI, and I'm normally not a fan of airliners. I mean, I have most of the basic ones, so the 737 and the A320, and I really enjoyed them when I was flying more on VATSIM. Lately I'm not, so I'm mostly flying GA, and sometimes I also like to fly those like smaller regional airliners, so like the 146, right, from Just Flight. That's probably like my favorite bigger plane, but I was never too excited about like the biggest plane, those long-haul airliners and stuff. But now I bought the MD-11 and I'm totally in love. I cannot stop flying it. Like especially the cargo version with all of those transports at night, and with this new night lighting that they have introduced in Sim Update 4, I think. Everything is so beautiful during the night, and it's like so atmospheric, and this plane fits at this ambient, right, and this type of flying perfectly, and it's so well made. Actually, it seems like they have introduced lots and lots of improvements starting from the beginning of this year. So in January, February, and now there are very, very long change logs. So most of those like older reviews of it that are saying that it still needs improvement are, I think, already out of date. Now it feels like one of the best planes, and it's actually also having like an additional. Okay, we are not dying, I hope. Let me add a little bit of power. So it also has this additional module for like $5 or I think, that is introducing failures, and is also introducing like wear and save state saving of all of the separate parts and stuff. So this is also something that I enjoy. It's like the ownership feeling, but in this case of a very, very big plane, which is also nice, and something that I haven't really experienced before. And I did do actually, I think, my first long haul in my life. I'm flight simming for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe a little bit less, but I have never done like a long, very long flight. And this time I have done one that took 11 hours from Rio to Amsterdam. It's like this is concerning. It's like a historical flight from Varig, whatever it was called, this famous Brazilian airline. And I used this top of descent function, right? So I started it, loaded it, obviously, then I flew like 2-3 hours, and then I went to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, it was waiting paused on top of descent, and it was working great. I just could descend, land everything was working. So I really like this, because otherwise I would not be flying for 11 hours. So there is no chance, right? So it's really nice that I have this opportunity with this function. Okay, let me just see. So how long? 6 minutes. Okay. And actually, I was thinking, like, to entertain you with some narrative for those 6 minutes, I was thinking that this is actually pretty realistic, because on those long-haul flights, not all of the pilots are flying, right? Depending on the hours that they have and stuff. Some of them are going to sleep. So I guess it's not that unrealistic, right? I'm flying for a few hours, then going to sleep, and then back. Let me check the weather. Map options, next red. It's not red. It's not red, so it's safe, right? Okay, so this is fine. Yeah, so when we are so high up and safe, it's not that exciting. But really, when you are when you're going lower, closer to land on all of these approaches to those very small airports hidden between the mountains, it's like super risky. And with this, it's so much better. So not a fan of glass cockpits, and normally I would think a glass cockpit is not a good match for like a bush plane that is supposed to be rugged and like industrial looking and not very modern. But actually here it's like a perfect choice, right? If you want to live at least. And actually something that I was Googling for this flight is an airline that is operating out of Queenstown, so our destination airport, and it's actually owning 2 Kodiaks. So I was interested if I couldn't find a livery for it, but like for some reason it's not included in the pack that you're getting with the plane. I mean, this would be understandable, but it's also not on Flight SimTO, right? So I think there is currently no livery that would be matching New Zealand, which I think is sad, okay? Because this is just perfect. Let me just do a view. Yeah, we see something. Yeah, but this is just great. Okay, let's look around. I'm also, like, once again more interested into New Zealand, because I'm like board games, right? Board games. And there's like a board game that is called Fate of the Fellowship of the Ring, which is pretty new. And I'm playing it like all of the time with my family that comes visiting. And like many of us have rewatched the Lord of the Ring movies again. And as you know, they were like filmed here. I mean, I'm not sure if they were filmed here, but like in New Zealand, right? So a lot of those like cinematic travel shots over the mountains and stuff are coming from New Zealand. This circle is so strange because lately when I was flying here, I was flying with the GTN 750, and it was managing this approach like perfectly, but it was not drawing the circle here. So I'm slightly concerned, but we will see. Okay, let's see. I don't want it to be too warm. It's nice, and this one has not reached the target yet, so there seems to be some deeper simulation behind it. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Let me just see, let's check advisory. Should it be in bypass? Maybe because of the temperature. Okay, to avoid those ice crystals and stuff. Okay, so let's do it. If the plane wants it, we are okay with it. Let's just see if we don't overheat because of it. Okay? Because the ventilation is less effective this way. Okay? So let's remove some of the power. And obviously, like always, I was talking too much, so I didn't check the tables, which is something that I told you I wanted to do. Okay, so let's check. First, let me just set up VNAV here, because I'm wondering if this will work. So first, Let me see what our final altitude will be. 330. Okay. So I'm not sure if this will work like it. Let's just check it. 330. And if VNAV will bring us down safely. Okay, no acceleration, so turn, turn, turn. Okay, nice. And let's check VNAV. Okay, armed. Okay, promising, so we will see. So normally when it comes to GA planes, I'm not using VNAV. The only one where I have it is pretty much the DA42 from Cows, which is just a great airplane. But since I have flown the DA42, I haven't really used it in a GA plane, so let's hope this is how it works. You'll see. And you can see normal New Zealand like wind. So you'll see how this will work. We are still within the corridor, which is pretty nice. Okay, so once again, tables, okay, and you can see cruise. Okay, so we are at 10,000 feet, so somewhere between here. And now the question is how here 552. So no, this is not helping me. Okay, so we do have the full RPM, right? What is... Oh, no, it's just the range that I have to use. Okay, now I understand. Because there was also something about... Okay, let me just see what the plane is doing. Okay, so as you can see, VNAV is going down. We are going down. Let me just reduce the speed. And we are entering this circle. And here we can see the whole terrain. And here we will be seeing if we are not smashing into some mountains. I can just zoom it in. Here you can see this is what I was talking about, right? That we should reduce the max torque, for example, if we have air conditioning on, and if we have pitot on, and if we have the inertial separator, not stabilizer. Okay, so a nice VNAV path. Let me do an outside view. Wow, I'm just in love. I'm pretty sure you cannot see like the fine detail of it on YouTube, but just trust me, like the resolution of and the definition of every small detail is just like amazing. It's probably the best. Although when I was very close to it and was looking at the livery, there was a little bit of pixelation visible, but it was only on the livery. When you look at all of those details, it's like really probably the best looking one I have seen. And here we can see it will be following the constraints, right? Which is important because there is a mountain here very close to us. Let me try to show you. Can I? It should be here. There's like a beautiful mountain top here. You just need to imagine. Okay, but at least I can show it to you in like here, right? In those really difficult situations where another bush plane would have like a lot of trouble flying. Okay, we can see something. And here we can see all of those like trekking paths, right, along the mountain. Yeah, I'm not sure about this effect where you can see this like over brightness during the day. I'm not sure if this is not the only plane where I have seen it. Maybe it's realistic, I'm not sure. As you can see, and now we go a step down. And we are once again on the V-path. It's really good. I just hope we won't enter this part and won't circle forever. Because this would be very sad. So let me just monitor this one. I don't know, maybe I was talking too much again and I did something incorrectly when tuning it in, but I was flying this approach like many times and I never had this here. So I'm not sure, but we will see what the plane will be doing. Okay, we can take... I'm just wondering how I can hide it. Okay. Okay, let's just center the heading back if it would try to kill us. Okay, that's nice. And now it's going the second circle, so everything is fine. Now we start to seeing stuff here. Yeah, very nice detail. Nice, guys. Okay, now I think I can zoom out. And we should be entering this valley here and start descending shortly, I think. Because without topo, I'm not sure anymore, so let me just see. Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful approach. Okay. And we are still on the V path, and it's... yeah, this is really great. And to be honest, if I would be like a real-life pilot, I would totally like to have such like a system. Obviously in the sim, I might be thinking, oh, this is a little bit overkill, right? Why do I need it? But the situational awareness in real life, difficult situations where you're probably like much more stressed than in the simulator, this is just like perfect. Okay, so let me now see what the QNH is here. 1001. Okay. 1001. Okay, nice. Okay, and now as we are out of the icing range, it tells me to close this one. I mean, it advises me to close. Nice. Okay, and slowly we can turn on the proper landing lights, taxi light, and we can just slowly prepare for the landing. This is pretty much our airport will be here. Okay, do I trust it? I think I do. Oh, the wind is pretty strong. Okay, here you can see it's following, because every one of those pretty much waypoint has a different altitude constraint, and it's a lot of fun to fly this with something. Let me just turn it off because the wine is annoying me. So every one of those has a different like altitude requirements, so flying it by hand without VNAV is a lot of fun. I mean the vertical part, not by hand but by manually tuning in like the altitudes, right? And the question is, do I have to tune in the approach here? As I said, it's like the only GA plane other than the DA42 where I have VNAV, so I'm not sure where the change from VNAV to approach is really happening. I think not yet, or maybe not at all, so we will just see. Okay, let's take a look at the speeds. So 138. So let me just slow down a little bit, because as I said, the airport is pretty much here. Yeah, this is really great for situational awareness. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to the bypass to prepare for the landing. This is fine. Let me get this one. I don't think I need ignition because there is no moisture here. And let's go flaps 1. We are at the target altitude, so let me go approach. I'm not sure if I need approach, so we will see. Okay, do I have flaps 1? Yes. I was afraid I was talking too much. Yeah. Again. Okay. Yeah, some pretty strong winds here. But it should calm down close to the airport. Let's maybe not stall. So can we expect it to go down? Let me just check my chart. So when is it supposed to go down? At Laraf, I think. and this is something that we have already crossed. Yeah, so it's not going down to the approach part of the GPS. I might be doing something wrong, right? So it might be my mistake. Let's say we can do a pretty sharp descent with this one. Okay. And okay, let's try to not overspeed the flaps. Nice and steady. And this view is chef's kiss, right? So the landing speed is between 60 and 75. So this is something that we will be aiming for. As we can see, with full flaps, it's like nicely going down, but not picking up too much speed, so we can still save. And so this is something that I will for sure want to rewatch, because I would expect it to change to the glide path. Oh, I know what I did wrong, right? I forgot that, like with most of those, you have to tune down the altitude, like to runway elevation, right? And then it will feel free to descend. Okay. Yeah. Was so comfortable with this VNAV that I forgot about the basics. Okay, of GPS approach flying. But I think this is what would have helped us here.
500.
Thank you. Some strong winds, so okay. Okay, and we have it. So this is an interesting runway because it's going down a little bit and then back up. Okay, so I don't want this taxiway. I want the next one, but it would help if I would move it here. And also, this is also one of the nicer airports here, and it's totally free. So I really recommend to have some flights here if you haven't already. So what I wanted to say when I was landing is that I have turbulence set to realistic, which sometimes, like on short final, is very intense. And like many real pilots and developers are saying that they are flying with medium and are like designing the planes for medium. But up until now I have not crashed because of it. So for now I'm leaving it, right? On realistic. Okay, so pitot heat off, landing lights off, strobe lights are off. So is there anything that I want here? So this can stay, this can stay, this can stay. I can slowly turn off the air conditioning. This is already on low idle. So I think we are safe here. Okay, let's get the flaps up. It's such a nice model. And the yellow is so nice. Okay. Let us park. And actually I was even Googling where GA planes are parking here. And some like sources were suggesting that it's this terrain, but this is not modeled here. It's just like some photogrammetry trash there. So I'm not sure. There are also some flying schools here behind this terminal, but like most of them are like helicopter flying schools, so I'm also not sure. It's not so easy. Okay, let me go to beta range, because it's getting a little bit bumpy, because we are taxiing too fast. Okay, so we don't want 8. Can we just drive here? I think this is exactly what I did last time that I got lost here on those. And I also checked the charts, and there are not really many taxi instructions. I mean, at least not for like small aircraft. So we'll just stop somewhere here. Yeah, but like the views are amazing. Yeah, so here we have the rescue helicopter, then there is like a flight school and a lot of stuff, so maybe we will just park here if we can. I mean, it's an off-road plane, so we can as well cut here. Oh, this is great, some great definition on those mountains. Okay, and now let's remember about the brake. Brakes are useful. And we can just do the checklist here post-flight. Okay, so flaps 0, 0, fuel condition lever low, low, strobe lights off, they are off. Okay, so now let's do the shutdown. Yeah, that's not very complicated, I have to say, so let me do some stuff by my own. Okay, so power lever to idle. And we can listen to it. Just give you a better view. Nice, a pretty refined sound with like those additional propeller sounds at the very end. Very nice, very nice. So no wonder that they didn't change like the sounds, right? Because they were already pretty great. Okay, so here we don't need the pass here. What else don't we need? We don't need this here. We have the cabin lights on, so we will do. Is this on? No, I want to be off. Okay, and generator and alternator. Okay, now we can pull it back to. Is it? Already, yeah. Okay. Okay, but as I said, I want to check out the lights, so I'm not turning it off yet. And let me just see. Yeah. Okay, I'll just make it a little bit darker. Let's play around with the lights. So first, the lights here. Outside view. Are they working without a generator? Because otherwise it might be a problem. Okay, they are working here. Okay, not that bad. Although this is like a pretty bright area here. Okay, let me check those. Okay, so this is this line. Okay, panel and switches. And so white light, pretty okay, readable, like in most G1000 planes. And this seems to be also like a top light here. Okay, so this works, this works. Can I use this one? Just yep. Oh, so I think this is the nicest one because it's a little bit warm. So this might be pretty enjoyable. So let me just turn those down. Okay. How does it look like? Oops. I mean, okay. Probably like for total night operations, you would just use the instrument light here. And what's with those lights? Let's just check out if the passengers can play around here. Oh, I clicked it. Oops. Hello. Do I need the engine for it? Let me check another one. It's doing a very strange sound, like it would be turning, but I think it's not. Either way, let's just release the passengers. I love all of those, like those procedures where there are multiple steps, right? When opening something. Yeah, I know the door. Okay, generate. Will it not stop? Now it stopped, right? Okay, and let me just take a look outside. We'll just see if we can put on all of those elements, because this is also something that is not a thing in many planes, that you can only take it off, but not put it back on, especially in those that are career mode compatible. And this is also something that I think is worth mentioning, that this is career mode compatible, and it will work with many career modes, right? There is the medevac version, there is the cargo version, which from what I know works with light cargo. So they really worked hard on making it compatible with as many career modes as possible. Let me just see if it's listed on the list. So I forgot that this will be important for many people, so just a second. I think it might have been in the news from today. So if you're interested in career mode, just wait a second for me to load it. For now, you can look at the beautiful plane. Just don't want to lie to you guys, want to provide you some solid information here. Announcements. Okay, so it's fully compatible with career mode, but the thing that you need to remember is that it will only work with career mode if purchased on the marketplace, Microsoft Marketplace, and it will appear on the Microsoft Marketplace in a week. So if you buy it today on SWS, you won't be able to use it for the career, right? But still, I'm looking for this information. It might have been only listed on the Discord and discussions. So let's just agree. I will check this information and will provide it in the description of the video. Okay, so just not to keep you here with me, although it's getting pretty nice, I guess, for New Zealand. So guys, thank you very much for being with me during this flight. I think it's like totally great, and it's so nice to be back in New Zealand with this one. I will for sure do a lot of flights. Hopefully I won't mess up as many engines as in the past when I was flying it. And I hope you had fun and this was like informative. And yeah, see you in future GA flying videos. Bye bye.